Alright guys, this is Corey from Plaza Fitness Performance, and we are talking today about the Turkish get-up. So, the Turkish get-up is an amazing exercise, as you all know. It has pretty much every movement that we teach all wrapped up into one. So, it's one of those exercises that you could pretty much do if you're on a deserted island. You could pick one exercise, that might be the one. So, the Turkish get-up has a lot of different steps in it. A lot of you are kind of in one stage or the other. But I want to take you through patterning of the Turkish get-up. I want to take you through step-by-step progressions to the point where you're actually loaded. So let's start with patterning of the Turkish get-up. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to start with a pretend bell in a kind of a side-lying position. You're going to roll to your back. You're going to push that pretend bell straight up with both hands. You're going to drop your opposite arm and opposite leg at a 45-degree angle and parallel with each other. And if I could turn around for you just a little bit so you see this. Leg and arm are parallel with each other. My heel is in a point that provides the ability to get leverage for my glute. And this is the key point or the sticking point of this exercise. If you get through this point, you're fine. You're going to crush the bell handle, you're going to drive the glute, you're going to hard roll with your core, and you're going to dig down on your elbow. So those are the 4 keys to the Turkish get-up. Crush the bell, drive the glute, hard roll, and dig down with the elbow. Your eyes are on the bell. You're going to go to the hand. You're going to lift the hips just high enough to sweep the leg. In this position, you've got 2 lines of strength. From one hand straight through the shoulders to the other hand, and from one hand straight to the toe on the other foot. So the knee and the toe and the hand are all in a line. Those are lines of strength. If any of those are off, this movement is not going to be, you're not going to be as strong, you're not going to feel as good, it's not going to be as safe if any of these are off. Okay, so once you've got that line of strength, your eyeballs are still on the bell, you're going to come off the hand. You're going to adjust your feet so that you're in this bottom lunge position. Gaze now goes forward. Your arm is straight up. It's not off to the front or the side. Straight up. You're going to stand out of that lunge. You're going to go in the reverse order. So I wouldn't be able to tell if I'm going up or down if I took a still photo anywhere in the routine. You're going to aggressively windshield wiper. You're going to hip hinge. You're going to slide the hand down the leg. And your gaze is going to go back to the bell. Notice how I'm back into my lines of strength. I'm going to sweep the leg. I'm going to land on my hip slowly, softly. I'm going to slowly bend that elbow behind me. But before I do that, I make sure that there's tension in my lat. And I slowly bend that elbow behind me. And I use my core to slowly roll to my back. I put 2 hands on the bell, bring it down to my chest, and I roll to where I started. So that becomes your Turkish get-up in terms of you patterning the movement. Once you can pattern the movement, then we're going to want you to prove that you can pattern with a shoe. So what you'll do is you'll take a shoe, and you can start in this position with a shoe. Or you could start in that initial position like I talked about. You could roll to your back, press with 2 hands. Put the hand in a hang loose position or a fist. Hang loose is my preference as a coach. Your arm and your leg are parallel with each other at a 45-degree angle. You're going to drive the glute, hard roll, dig down on the elbow. Proud chest in this position, eyeballs on the shoe. Go to the hand. Lift the hips, sweep the leg. Gaze goes forward. Adjust your feet for the lunge. Stand reverse order. Aggressive windshield wiper. Hip hinge. Hand goes down the leg. Gaze goes to the bell, or the shoe in this case. Down to your hips, slowly bend that elbow. Use your core to roll down slowly. 2 hands on the shoe or the bell, to your chest, and roll. So once you want to load that movement, you're obviously going to start light. And since the Turkish get-up is a grind, it's for strength, over time we do want you to increase the load. But for today, I'll use a weight that is reasonable for me. just to show you the technique. I'm gonna start as close as possible to this bell so that I'm not inefficient and wasting time and energy. If this bell is out, I have a long way to go to get to this position, so I'm gonna bring it in as close as possible, right to my chest, so all I have to do is roll to my back, press with 2 hands, drop opposite leg and opposite arm at 45-degree angle. I'm gonna crush the bell hard. I'm gonna drive my glute, hard roll, and dig down on my elbow. I'm gonna go to my hand, eyes are on the bell. I'm lifting my hips, sweeping the leg into my lines of strength, coming out of it into the bottom lunge. I'm adjusting my feet so I'm comfortable. Gaze is forward, arm is straight up. I'm gonna drive up, stand tall, and now I'm gonna go back down. In the reverse order, I'm gonna lunge, I'm gonna aggressively windshield wiper, I'm gonna hip hinge, gaze goes to the bell, I'm back into my lines of strength, sweep my leg, hit my hips, slowly bend my elbow behind me after I've engaged my lat, and I'm gonna use my core to roll to the ground, and I'm gonna finish where I started. So that becomes your Turkish getup. It's an amazing exercise. In summary, we want you to have movement capabilities in the shoulder mobility department as well as your hips in order to adequately pattern that first. So patterning is important. Then we want you to prove that you've got the stability and mobility necessary to balance a shoe. And lastly, you're going to start by loading with lighter loads and then progressing to heavier loads as your proficiency with the Turkish getup improves. So that's the Turkish getup. Have a lot of fun with it. It's an incredible exercise, and we'll see you soon.